Fine, guys. In the last session, we discussed about what is the Spring Core module and why we need to go for Spring Core module. The main purpose of Spring Core module, which is used to manage the classes with loosely coupling. So to manage the classes with loosely coupling, in the Spring Core module, mainly we have two concepts. One is called IOC container. Another one is called dependency injection. So what is the meaning of IOC container? It is used to manage the classes available in the application. So instead of we are creating the objects, instead of we are injecting the objects in other classes, we can take the help of the IOC container. It will take care of our classes in the project. It will create the objects for the classes and it will manage those objects. That means IOC container will perform dependency injection in the project. So can anyone tell me what is the meaning of dependency injection? Creating the object and injecting that object is called dependency injection. Now, so today, let's understand how to develop our first application by using Spring Framework. So I want to show you how to create IOC container, how to start the IOC container, and how to configure the information for the IOC container, and how to get the Spring Bean object. So in a project, multiple Java classes will be available. Those Java classes we will give as an input for the IOC container, and we will also give the configuration as the input for the IOC container. Based on this configuration, IOC container will manage our classes and IOC container will provide Spring Bean for us. What is the meaning of Spring Bean? Any Java class which is managed by IOC container is called as a Spring Bean. So let us see how to develop one application by using IOC container. This is our first application that we are creating by using Spring Framework. So the topic is developing first application by using Spring Framework. First application develop. Okay, in order to develop this application, what are the steps that we need to follow? So the first step, create Maven project. So what is this Maven? Maven is a build tool, guys. So now here, in order to develop the project by using Spring Framework, we need to download the framework. Framework will be available in the form of jar files. So framework nothing but a project which is developed by other companies. So in that framework, so many classes will be available. By using those classes, we need to develop our project. So we need to download the framework. We need to use in our project. Instead of we are downloading the framework manually, we are going to take the help of Maven project. Maven will download the project. Maven will download the jar files of the framework. Maven will add the jar files to our project. What is Maven? How to work with Maven? We will discuss as part of our tools concept. Currently, we are going to create one simple Maven project. Once the Maven project is created, configure Spring Framework as a dependency in pom.xml. So in the Maven project, there will be one configuration file called pom.xml. So which frameworks you want to download from the internet, the frameworks information we need to configure in the pom.xml. Suppose you want Hibernate framework, then Hibernate you will configure in the pom.xml. I want a Spring framework. I want Spring Boot framework. Whatever the frameworks you want to download, you can configure them inside our pom.xml. Then it will download. Then next one, we will create Java classes. Create Java classes. Then configure Java class as a Spring Bean in the configuration file. Create Spring Bean configuration file. Create Spring Bean configuration file. So currently I am going with XML configuration. In future, we are going to use Java-based configuration and annotation-based configuration also. First example, I'm going with the XML configuration. Then create a test class. Create test class to run the application. Create a test class to run the application. So these are the 5 steps we are going to follow in order to develop our first application, first app development using Spring Framework. Right? Can you tell me what is the Spring? Application development framework. We can develop any type of project by using Spring Framework. So now I want to show you one application, how to develop a simple application, how to develop by using IOC container. So first step, can you come on, read the steps now? We need to create one Maven project. Why Maven project we are creating? To download the framework. Instead of we are downloading the framework, we are going to use Maven to download the framework. Then which frameworks Maven should download? We need to configure that inside one file, which is called form.xml. Form.xml is a configuration file for the Maven software. Maven will read that form.xml. Maven will download the framework. Okay. Then next one. What are the classes you need to do? What are the classes required for the project? We are going to develop those Java classes. Then whatever the Java classes we are creating, IOC container should manage our Java classes. So for that, we need to give some information to the IOC container. That's where we are going to create one file that is called Spring Bean configuration file. Then once we create the Spring Bean configuration file, in that file, we are going to configure the classes which are responsible to taken care by IOC container. IOC container should manage which classes in the project. Those classes we are going to configure in the Bean configuration file. Then after this, in order to test our application, in order to run our application, I'm going to create one test class. Using that test class, I will run our application. Is the steps clear for you? Can you read them once again? Yeah. Create Java classes, create Bean configuration file, create the test class in order to run the application. All right. I'm using my Eclipse IDE. Later, I will use IntelliJ IDE also, guys. Yes. Observe carefully. So in the Eclipse IDE, there is a file option, new. There is an option called Maven project option is available. Okay. As of now, we created normal Java project. From now, we are going to create as a Maven project. Click on Maven project. So there is an option called create a simple Maven project. I'm going to create a simple Maven project. Select that checkbox. Click on next. Group ID. Group ID nothing but our company name we are going to provide. Artifact ID nothing but our project name. I'm going to give the project name as 01 Spring application. So group ID I am giving as in.ashok IT and artifact ID I am giving as 01 Spring application. Then click on finish. That's it. So I am giving the group ID and I am giving the artifact ID. So here when I am creating a Maven project, group ID simple select simple project, skip archetype selection, then group ID. You can configure anything as a group ID. So generally our project company name we are going to configure as a group ID. And the next one, artifact ID. Artifact ID is basically our application name. We are going to give project name. This is our first application. So I'm giving the name as 01 Spring application. Guys, can you come front? Can you move? All of you come front. Is my voice clear? Yeah, come front. From tomorrow, I will change the classroom. We'll go to the big classroom. Okay, come front, guys. Yeah. So create a Maven project. I'm selecting the simple project, guys. Then I'm giving my group ID as in.ashok IT. I'm giving the artifact ID as a project name. So with this, our project got created. Maven project got created. So if you observe in this Maven project, if you see, is it clear for all of you? Yes. Visible? Last row. Yeah. So in this Maven project, guys, if you see the folder structure, main Java folder is available. Main resources folder is available. Main Java folder, nothing but what are the Java classes we need to develop in the project. Our controller classes, our service classes, our DAO classes, we are going to keep in the main Java folder. Okay. So any resources, nothing but any configuration files you want to keep in the project, those configuration files we are going to keep in the resources folder. Main Java, main resources. What is the meaning of main Java? Now the Java classes that we want to develop in the project. So controller classes, service classes, DAO classes, any Java class that you want to use in the project, we are going to create them in the main Java folder. For our Java project, some configuration files are required. Fin configuration file is required. The configuration files we are going to keep in the resources folder. And in the project, if you see, test Java is available, test resources available. Test Java, nothing but unit testing we are going to perform by using JUnit software. That JUnit classes, any Java class which is used to perform the unit testing in the project. So currently you may not know what is unit testing, but going forward we are going to understand what is unit testing also. So that means unit testing in the sense I'm creating one Java program. For example, there is a Java class called bank.java is available. In the bank.java, there is a method called deposit method is available. Okay, this is our business class. Bank.java deposit method is available. In the real time, what will happen to test that the bank class working as expected or not? We are going to create one more class called bank test.java. What is the purpose of bank test.java? To test bank class is working as expected or not. One is our business Java class, another one is a test class. Whatever the code is available in the business class, is that code working as expected or not? We are going to test it by using test class. These test classes we are going to develop by using one tool called JUnit. JUnit is a unit testing tool. I told you some real-time tools are required for the developer. Maven is one real-time tool which is used to create the projects. JUnit is another real-time tool which is used to test the project. Okay. So any test classes that you want to develop for your application, we are going to create them in the test Java folder. Okay. For that testing, if any configuration file is required, those configuration files we are going to keep in the test resources folder. Test Java, test resources folders will be available like this. Are you guys able to follow me? Right. So what is the purpose of main Java? All the Java classes we want to develop will keep in the test Java folder. What main Java folder? Sorry. Main Java means Java classes will configure. What is the meaning of main resources? For our project, any configuration is required. Configuration files we are going to keep in the main resources folder. What is a test Java? What is a test Java? Any JUnit classes we are developing in the project, we are going to keep in the test Java. What is the meaning of test resources? Any JUnit classes, for that any configuration required, we are going to keep in the test resource. And if you see another file called pom.xml, which is a Maven configuration file. POM stands for Project Object Model. POM stands for Project Object Model. Any frameworks you want to download for your project, Struts framework available, Hibernate framework available, Spring framework available, Spring Boot is available. Any framework you want to use in the project, those frameworks we are going to configure in the pom.xml. POM stands for Project Object Model. POM stands for Project Object Model. Inside the pom.xml, our project group ID, our project artifact ID, our project version information is available. Okay, this data is required for our project. Now, my project depends on the Spring framework. I want to develop a project by using Spring framework. So, my project is dependent on the Spring framework. Then we can consider Spring is a dependency for the project. What is that, guys? Spring is a dependency for our project. So to configure dependencies in the pom.xml, we are going to write one tag called dependencies tag. We are going to write one tag with a name called dependencies. Open the dependencies and close the dependencies tab. Inside the dependencies, we need to configure our dependency. My project requires Spring Framework. So, sir, how we will know the dependencies for our application? Now, if you see, I'm developing one project. Okay. So this is my Spring application. That is my Java application. My Java application want to use Spring Framework. Why we need to use the Spring Framework? They will provide some common logics. Whatever the logics that I need to develop, so common logics will be provided by Spring Framework. You focus only on the business logic development. So we can consider Spring is one dependency for our project. So in future, I want to use Hibernate in my project. So we can consider Hibernate framework as one dependency for our project. Tomorrow I want to use JUnit for my project. So JUnit is also one dependency for my project. Like this. So Java project, nothing but that Java project will use so many frameworks available in the market. So Java project means not only Java code we are going to develop. So many tools or so many frameworks already available in the market. So those frameworks we are going to use for the common logics, and we will focus only on the business logic development. So my project is dependent on the Spring framework. My project is dependent on the Hibernate framework. My project is dependent on the JUnit framework. So these all are called as dependencies for my project. So these frameworks developed by whom? Other companies. Spring is developed by one company. Hibernate developed by some other company. JUnit developed by some other company. Those companies developed that framework. What will be there in the framework? Jar files will be available. Inside that jar file, dot class files will be available. So their Java classes I want to use in my project. So you developed some Java classes. Your Java classes I want to use in my project. So your Java class is a dependency for me. I want your Java classes to develop my project. So what all the dependencies required for the project, these dependencies we will add in the pom.xml file. So who will use that pom.xml? Maven. POM stands for Project Object Model. Are you able to follow me? Let me show you one project here, guys. Let me show you one project. Let me go to my Git repository. So I told you there are so many projects available in my Git repository. So if you see, I have created one project. Backend application is available. So in this backend application, can you read this one? What is this? Pom.xml. What is the meaning of pom.xml? Maven configuration file. Open the pom.xml. Now you see the pom.xml. Okay. So here if you observe, can you see this one? What is this? Dependencies. What is this dependency? Can you read it? Spring Boot data JPA. My project requires data JPA. Data JPA is a dependency for my project. And can you read this one? Data REST. I need the REST API as a dependency for my project. And can you read this one? I need a driver. When you develop JDBC application, you downloaded the driver, you set the class path for the driver. From now onwards, you no need to do that. If you tell to Maven, hey Maven, I want Oracle driver, Maven will download the driver for you. Hey Maven, I want MySQL driver, Maven will download the driver for you. So you no need to download the drivers manually. You no need to add the driver to the class path or build path manually. So in the real-time project, we are going to use a Maven like this. Whatever the jar files are required, whatever the driver is required, whatever the frameworks are required for us, if you tell to the Maven, hey Maven, I need this dependency, Maven will download that jar file, will give to our project. Are you able to follow me? And can you see this one? Razorpay is a dependency. Can you see this one? Test is a dependency. So like this, what all the dependencies available for the project, we are going to configure in the pom.xml. Sir, how we will know this is the dependency? What is the group ID for the dependency? What is the artifact ID for the dependency? So that's where Maven people has given one website to find the dependencies, which is called mvnrepository.com. What is the website is available, guys? mvnrepository.com is available. You go to that website, You find what all the dependencies required for you. You copy the dependency, you add in the pom.xml, then Maven will download the dependency. Are you able to follow me? Yes. Now, can you see here, currently in my project, any dependencies available? You see in my project structure, do we have any dependency in my project now? Is there any folder called dependencies available? No, dependency not available. Because in the Maven, I have not added anything. Now let me go to that website, which is called mvnrepository.com. Go to browser, open the website, mvnrepository.com. So here you can search for the Maven dependencies. I want a dependency called Spring Context. Because Spring Core is required, Spring Context is required. What is the purpose of Spring Core? Spring is one framework. Spring is one framework. Is it mandatory that I need to use all the modules of the Spring? No, it is developed in the modular fashion. Whatever the module you want, you can take it. I want core module, context module. What is the purpose of core module? Manage our classes with the loosely coupling with the help of IOC container and dependency injection. What is the purpose of context module? Configuration. Now I want Spring context dependency. I want Spring context dependency. So go to mvnrepository.com. You type Spring-context. I want Spring context. Enter. Now it will show you Spring context dependency. Just to click on the Spring context dependency and it will give you which version of the Spring context you want. Which version of the Spring framework you want to use. I want Spring framework context module. From which version you want to use that? All the version numbers are available. What is the latest version of the Spring? 6.1. Okay. Click on this version number. When you click on this version number, you can find the dependency details here. Okay. Group ID is available. Artifact ID is available. Version is also available. Now you click on this, that dependency will be copied. You copy the dependency, go to pom.xml. Inside the dependencies, you add the dependency. That's it. You add the dependency and you save that file. You save that file. That's it. Maven will go to the Spring website. Maven will download that dependency. That means a jar file will be downloaded. It will add that jar file to our build path. It will download that jar file. It will add that jar file to our build path. Now check it. Now earlier Maven dependency is not available. Now Maven dependency is available. Can you see what happened now? Can you see what happened now? The jar files are downloaded or am I downloading the jars or I am telling to Maven to download the jars? I'm telling to Maven to download the jars. Are you able to follow me? Maven is one build tool to develop the Java projects. So creating the project folder structure, downloading the jar files, compiling the project, testing the project, all these activities will be taken care by Maven software. The alternate for the Maven, Gradle is also available. In the industry, some projects are developing based on Maven, some projects are developing based on Gradle. In our course, we will use both tools. First, I will take one workshop on what is Maven, how to work with the Maven. Are you clear? Mostly from the next week, we are going to understand what is Maven. One weekend, I will conduct a workshop on what is Maven, what is Gradle and all. If you are interested to do the self-learning, those videos already available in my YouTube channel. I have created one video, what is Maven, how to work with Maven. I created one video, what is Gradle, how to work with Gradle. If anybody is interested to learn the concept on your own, you can go through my videos in the YouTube. In the class also, I'm going to explain how to use Maven, how to use Gradle as well. Are you getting my point? Good. So with this, I'm able to add one dependency. So where I found the dependency, guys? I found the dependency in the mvnrepository.com. So what is the dependency I'm adding? Spring context dependency I am adding. Okay. Spring context dependency I am adding. So in the dependency, we can see group ID is available, artifact ID is available, and version is available. So this dependency, we are going to keep inside the dependencies. Why? Because project will have only one dependency or project will have multiple dependencies? All of you brought your laptops? After class completed, you need to sit and you need to complete the project today only. Whatever I am explaining in the class, after the class is completed, you need to develop the project and you need to show me the project. So your class is 3 hours, 1.5 hour class, 1.5 hour lab will be there. I will be available here only for your lab session also. Okay, you have to complete the practice today itself. Whatever we are learning in the class, immediately after the class completed, you have to practice. Is it good or not? Yes, fine. So if any doubts, you can ask me immediately. Yeah. So we are going to add one Maven dependency here. That's fine. Spring context dependency I have added. And you see the beauty of the Maven. When I add the Spring context dependency, it downloaded Spring Core jar file also. Spring Core is downloaded. Spring Beans downloaded. Spring AOP downloaded. Spring context downloaded. Spring expression downloaded. Spring JCL downloaded. Micrometer also download. So these all are the jar files which are required to develop a basic application by using Spring Frame. Tomorrow, I want to develop a web application by using Spring Framework. Then what I will do? I will download the WebMVC jar file. So if you want to download a web application by using Spring Framework, you need to add one more dependency. What is the dependency? I will add Spring Web MVC. That's it. Are you getting my point? Which module you want to use from the Spring Framework, that module dependency you can configure. Now, save this file. Now you see what will happen in the Maven. Now can you see? Web and WebMVC jar files are downloaded. Web and WebMVC jar files are downloaded. So whatever the frameworks you want to use in the project, you need to tell to the Maven, so that Maven will download the framework jar files, will give you that jar file. What will be there in these jar files, guys? In this jar file, so many classes will be available. So many Java classes will be available. These Java classes are called predefined Java classes developed by Spring Framework. By using those Java classes, we will develop our project. That is called reusability. They are providing common logics. How they are providing the common logics? They developed Java classes. We will use their Java classes to complete our project. Common logics they will provide. Business logic we will write. Then our project will be run. Are you getting my point? If 100 lines are required, 70 lines they will provide, 30 lines you write, then your project will be complete. Common logic they will provide, you focus on the business logic. How can we use their common logics? They have given the jar files. In that jar file, classes are available. We will use those classes, we will develop our. Are you able to follow me? Is this clear for all of you? Very good. Next one. So I don't need WebMVC now. I'm not developing a web application. I'm developing a simple Spring-based application. Okay, remove the WebMVC. I have added only context module. Now, see here. What is the first step? So go to your Eclipse IDE or IntelliJ IDE. You create a Maven project. When you're creating a Maven project, we are selecting simple project. Simple project, nothing but standalone project. Simple project, nothing but standalone project, which will run only in one system. If you want to create a web application, other option will be available. Okay, we will see how to create them also. Then I'm giving the group ID. What is the meaning of group ID? Company name. Which company developing this project? We will give that as a group ID. Next one, we are giving artifact ID. What is the meaning of artifact ID? What is the meaning of artifact ID? Artifact ID, nothing but what is the project name? What is the project name? Then next one. Once our project is created, we can see main Java, main resources, test Java, test resources, form.xml. What is the meaning of main Java? Classes we need to create in the main Java folder. Main resources, nothing but configuration files we are going to keep in the main resources folder. Test Java, JUnit classes we are going to keep. Test resources, Configuration files for the JUnit will keep. What is pom.xml? Dependencies we are going to configure. What is the benefit of configuring dependency in the pom.xml? Maven will download the dependency. Dependency nothing but a framework we need. Whatever the frameworks we need for our application, we will configure them as a dependency. Can we configure multiple dependencies in the pom.xml? Yes, we can configure multiple dependencies in the pom.xml. Where we can find the dependencies? Where we can find the dependencies? We can find the dependencies in a website called mvn So this is the dependency I'm taking from the mvn repository. I'm adding that dependency inside the dependencies. Okay, you need to write like this. Inside the dependencies, I'm configuring one dependency. In future, we are going to configure multiple dependencies here. In future, we'll configure multiple dependencies. Someone is asking, sir, web.xml and pom.xml both are same. No. Web.xml used by our servlet container to identify the servlets and servlet URL patterns. But pom.xml is used by Maven to download the dependencies. Both are same or not same? Not same. The purpose is different. Okay, good. Will it download in the physical drive? Yes. Whatever the dependencies we are adding to the Maven dependency pom.xml, Maven will download the dependencies, will keep in your system only. Now you see, where is the Maven storing the jar files which is downloaded? This is the path. C drive, Ashok user, inside that .m2, inside that repository, inside that jar files available. Whatever the dependencies you are adding, Maven will download the dependencies and will keep in your system only. That is called Maven local repository. Whatever the dependencies we are adding, it will download, it will keep in your system. Where it is keeping in our system, you can see the path also. So it is storing in my system, C drive, users directory, Ashok, then .m2, .repository. Inside that, all the jars which are downloaded by Maven will be available. Sir, what is that local repository? How many times it will download? From where it is downloading? In the Maven class, you will understand. Today target is not about Maven. Today target is how to develop Spring project. So you will get more clarity on the Maven once we discuss about Maven topic in the class. Are you able to follow me? Yes. Fine. It is downloading the dependencies, keeping in our system only. Once this step is completed, what is the next step, guys? You can create the Java classes. How many classes will be there in the project? Multiple. Controllers will be available. Services will be available. DAO classes also will be available. Now let me go and create one Java class. Let me go and create one Java class. Where we'll create the Java classes now? Main Java folder. New class. I'm creating a class with a name called engine. Package in.ashokit. The class name I'm taking as engine. Any class you can create. Now, so engine class I'm creating. Let me write one zero param constructor to understand whether the object is created for the class or not. If object is created, constructor will be executed. So just I am writing system.out.println engine constructor. So what is the meaning of constructor is executed? When the object is created, then constructor will be called. So just to understand whether object is created or not, I'm writing one statement inside my constructor. Okay. Then let me write one method also. Public integer start method. Public integer start method. Here you can write some logic to start the engine. I can say engine started. I can say engine started. I'm returning some one. That's same class. Whatever we developed yesterday, same class I'm creating. But yesterday we created the object manually. Today IOC container should create the object for our class. Are you able to follow me? Yes. So with this, our Java class is ready. That's it. Fine. Third step is complete. Then what is the fourth step? What is the fourth step now? We need to create the Spring Bean configuration file. Why we need to create the bean configuration file? What is the purpose of bean configuration file? Which is a input for the IOC container. In my project, how many classes available? Which classes IOC should manage? I need to provide the information to the IOC container. For that, I'm going to create one bean configuration file. Bean configuration file is a XML file, guys. That is a XML file. So let me go to the resources folder where we will keep the configuration files. Resources folder. Go to resources folder, new one XML file. Let's search for a file type called XML. Okay. It is giving the option called XML. Let me select the XML. Next, you can give any name for the XML. I'm giving the name as spring-beans.xml. Spring-beans.xml. Click on next and click on next. Click on finish. That's it. So with this, I have created one XML file here. I have created one XML file. So what I need to do in the XML? I need to configure Java classes as a Spring Bean. I need to tell to IOC container which classes it has to manage. So for this XML, some syntax we need to follow. Let me take the sample XML from the Spring website. Observe carefully. Go to Google and type Spring Bean configuration XML file. Go to internet and search for Spring Bean configuration XML. From where we are getting that XML? Spring.io. Official website available. From the official website, you can identify what is the XML we need to write in them. Okay. Go here. Then you find out XML. XML schema style XML we are going to take. You take this XML syntax. You take this syntax and you go to our XML. You keep that. Okay, this is the XML format we need to follow in order to configure our Java classes. In order to configure our Java classes, we need to take this XML. Now, in this XML, bean definition, that means which Java classes you want to represent as a Spring Bean, those classes you need to configure in the XML. To configure them, we will use bean ID in Gen. Class is equal to what is the name of your class? Which class you want to load by IOC? in.ashokid.ingem. That's okay. Whatever this is outdated configuration, guys. In the real time, currently we are not going to follow this. This is just for our understanding purpose. In future, we are going to use annotation based configuration. Okay. One or two examples I will show you with the XML. Okay. So you are creating one XML file in the resources folder. For that XML, you can give any name. I have given the name as spring-beans.xml. Okay. I'm creating this file here, src main resources. I have given the name as spring-beans.xml. Is it mandatory to follow the same name? No. You can give any name for the file. Once you create the file, I want to get the content of the file. How I am getting the content of the file? Go to Google and you type Spring Bean configuration XML. Then go to the documentation of the Spring. Then you find out XML here. Schema based configuration XML. You take that schema based XML configuration, not this is DTD. Don't go for DTD. Don't go for XML schema based configuration. You take this schema based configuration and you keep that in your XML. Okay. After keeping that in your XML, we need to configure our beans here. That means in our project, multiple Java classes will be available. Which Java classes you want to represent as a Spring Bean? Those are classes you need to configure in the XML. For that, what is the syntax we will follow? Bean ID, a unique ID for the bean class, a fully qualified class name, package name dot class name. This is called fully qualified class name. We are going to configure Java class as a bean. Then IOC container will manage this Java class. Whatever the class you are configuring, IOC container will take that class. IOC container will create the object for that class. Are you able to follow me? Yes. Good. So we configured this is Java class in the beans.xml. Then what is the next step, guys? What is the next step now? Create a test class in order to run our application. Okay. So to create a test class, let me go here and create one Java class here. I am creating a class with a name called test or Maya, anything. One test class I am creating. So now observe, in order to test this application, I am writing one main method. In order to run the application, I'm creating a main method. Now, I need to start the IOC container and I need to tell to IOC container, boss, this is the XML. You take the XML, you manage the classes configured in the XML. So if you see our diagram, we are going to give our Java classes as the input for the IOC container by using configuration. Then IOC container will manage those classes. It will provide the Spring Beans for us. Now the question is how to start this IOC container. Okay. How to start the IOC container. IOC container is also a Java class, right? Which is available in the Spring framework. Now I need to start the IOC container. For the IOC container, I need to provide the configuration file as an input. Okay. How to start the IOC container. Here guys, in the Spring framework, in multiple ways we can start the IOC container. One is by using Bean Factory, which is outdated. One is by using Bean Factory, which is outdated. Second one is by using application context. Okay, we can start the IOC container in two ways. One is by using Bean Factory. Second one is by using application context. So this is first example. Lot of confusion will be there because everything is new. Maven is new. Beans XML is new. IOC container is new. For 1 or 2 days, it will be difficult. For the next 3 months, same thing we are going to. So first 1 or 2 days, you may feel difficult. Once you got clarity, once you practice 3-4 examples, then you will be able to develop the projects on your own. First time, second time, third time, it is difficult. Fourth time, you will get a hands-on experience with it. Getting my point? Sachin Tendulkar, best batsman in the world. The first match only, century. What happened in the first match? Duck out. Second match, third match, when he became one of the best batsmen. After playing 50-60 matches, then he became a good batsman. Same formula applicable for you also. First day, in the first application, you will not get the complete clarity on the Spring frame. You will not get the complete clarity on the IOC container with the first example only. If anybody not able to understand today's example, don't get disappointed. Don't get disappointed because first example, you may understand, you may not understand. Second example, may understand, may not. Third, fourth, fifth, then you will get the clarity. Okay, it will take 3 to 4 days of time to, I told you, initially only I told you, IOC container. Just with the definition, you will not get the clarity. It will take 1 week of time to get the clarity on the IOC container. Like this, if you develop 4 or 5 projects, then you will get the picture of what is IOC container, what is Bean, what is the configuration file, how to start the IOC container, how IOC managing the classes. It will take some time to understand. For me, it is easy because from 7-8 years onwards, I am developing the same thing. For me, everything is there in my brain. And not only teaching, I have practical experience also in the project. For me, it is easy. But for you, it's not easy. At this moment, it is not easy for you. When it will be easy for you? After 1 week, after 10 days, after 1 month, then you will also feel, okay, IOC nothing but it is going to manage the classes. How to work with IOC? So, to understand the things, it will take time. You are not doing a theoretical course, a practical course, programming course you are doing. Programming you can't learn in 1 day. It will take 3 months, 2 months of time to understand one language. Okay, you understand Java language. Now you are going for different framework. Again, it will take 2 to 3 months of time. How much time it took for you to get the clarity on the Java concepts? 4 or 5 months of time you took to get the clarity on how to develop a class, how to create a method, how to call the method, declare a variable, access the variable, call the methods, interfaces, objects, abstract classes, lambda expressions, stream API, database connectivity, web application development, okay, servlets, JSP, MVC, 6 months or 4 months of time it took for you to get the clarity. And that too still not 100% perfect. You got 50 to 60% clarity. Similarly, here also, it will take some time for you. If you don't understand the first example, don't get demotivated, don't get disappointed. Give me 1 week of time. After 1 week, you check whether you are able to understand or not. Able to follow me? Good. So I want to start my IOC container. Can you tell me what is IOC? What is IOC? IOC is a predefined class in the Spring framework which will manage our classes. Which will manage our classes. Array, why we can't manage our classes? Why we want IOC to manage our classes? If I manage my classes, tightly coupling will happen. That's why I want IOC container to manage my classes. So now IOC is also a predefined class in the Spring framework. They developed the IOC container. I want to use their IOC container to manage my classes. Now I need to start the IOC container. How many ways are there to start the IOC container? 2 ways. What are those 2 ways? One is by using Bean Factory, which is not using in the project nowadays. It is outdated. Next one, application context. Application context is a interface, guys. Application context, Bean Factory is also a interface. Application context also a interface. Can I create the object? Application context is equal to new application context? No. Why? Can I create the object for the list here? List L is equal to new list. List is also a interface. Then what we will do? List L is equal to new array list. What is array list? Implementation class for the list interface. Similarly, application context also a interface. You cannot create the object for the interface. You can create the object for the implementation class of the interface. Are you able to follow me? Now observe. Inside the main method, I'm going to take application context. Context is equal to new application context. No. New class path XML application context. Look at this code. So can I say interface reference variable holding implementation class object? Simple concept. If you learn core Java properly, then you can understand. List L is equal to new list. Valid or invalid? Invalid. Why it is invalid? Because interface we cannot create the object for the interface. Then what is the solution for that? List L is equal to new array list. Because array list is a implementation class of the list interface. You get my point? Similarly, here also, if I go like this, application context is equal to new application context. What is the problem? Invalid. Why it is invalid? Application context is a interface. You cannot create the object for the interface. You can create the object for the implementation class. Now, can you tell me what is the implementation class for application context? Class path XML application context. So the meaning of that is that class, this is a class which is implementing this interface, is responsible to load the configuration XML from the class path of the project. Where is our XML? Bean configuration XML resources folder. That is in the project only. So it is in the class path. So this Java class is responsible to load the configuration file and give to IOC container. Are you getting my point? Application context is equal to new class path XML application context. This is a implementation class for application context interface. This class is responsible to load our configuration file. What is our configuration file? Springbeans.xml. Where is that configuration file available? Resources folder. What this class is going to do? It will load the XML file available in the class path due to IOC container. IOC container will read the XML file, will manage our classes configured in the XML file. IOC is responsible to manage the classes. Which classes it has to manage? We already configured in the XML file. That XML file I am giving as an input for the IOC container. So it will load the XML, it will read the XML, it will identify what are the beans available in the XML, load those classes, manage those classes. What is the meaning of managing those classes? Creating the object. Now, can we see, is it loading the XML? Is it creating the object or not? Can we run the program now? What is the logic available in my program? What is the logic available? One line of code is available, right? What is that code? Inside my main, what is the main method, guys? What is the main method? It is the entry point for Java project execution. Inside, whatever the logic you want to write, you want to execute, you will keep inside the main method. What is the logic available in the main method now? We can say that. What is this? What is the purpose of this line of code? Which is used to start the IOC container based by giving the XML file as input. Start IOC by giving XML as input. That XML file is our bean configuration file. What is there in the bean configuration file? Engine is available as a bean. So IOC should take my engine class, should create the object for my engine. Okay, now let me go to the test class. Look at this once again. Application context is equal to new class path XML application context. Who developed this class? Is it our class or it is a framework class? So can I say reusability? Their class we are using to start the IOC container. Yes, that is available in the framework. How we are using that framework in our project? As a Maven dependency. We added the framework as a Maven dependency. Maven downloaded, added to our project. Now, what are the classes available in the Spring framework now? We can use in our project. Okay. Starting IOC container. Only my project requirement or every Spring project requirement? They developed logic for that. To start the IOC container, they developed logic. You reuse that logic. That is common logic. So we all are creating a project by using Spring Frame. What is the common logic in every Spring project? Start the IOC container. Instead of everybody writing that, framework only providing. So you use the framework logic. How to use the framework logic? You use their classes. One of the class they provided, class path XML application context. If you create the object for this class, what will happen? IOC container will start. What is input for the IOC container? Configuration. How many ways we can give the configuration? 3 ways. What are 3 ways? Come on. We can give the configuration in the XML format. We can give in the Java format. We can give in the annotation format. Currently, which format I am using? XML format. Are you able to follow me? What is the purpose of this line now? It is used to start the IOC container. Which class we are using to start the IOC container? Class path XML application context. Who developed that class? Rod Johnson. Who is the author of the framework? Rod Johnson. Rod Johnson is the author of our Spring framework. So the Rod Johnson team developed the framework. In the framework, they created the classes. Those classes having the common logic. All the developers want some common logics. So to use their common logics, we need to use their classes. Okay, that's it. I'm just writing one line of code which is used to start the IOC container. Can we run the program and can we see what will happen now? Can we run the program and can we see what will happen now? Come on. Right click, run as Java application. Constructor is executed. What is the meaning of that? Who is creating the object now? Can I say it is managing our classes now? Can I say it is managing our classes? IOC container is managing our classes. Now, can I call engine class method by using object created by IOC? So in the project, if classes are available, if I want to call one class method in the another class, do I need to go for inheritance? Do I need to go for inheritance? No. Do I need to create the object? Why I no need to create the object? Who is creating the object now? IOC container is creating the object. Okay. Let me create one more Java class here. New class called car. I'm creating another Java class which is called car class. Let me write a constructor in the car. System.out.println. I'm specifying car constructor executed. When the car constructor will be executed, if the car object is created, car constructor will be executed. Go to the test class, run this, run as Java application. Car object is created or not created? Only engine object is created. Why car object is not created? IOC don't know that it has to manage the car also. Because I have not given the car information in the XML. Which class information I have given in the XML? Only engine. So that means in the project, if there are 1000 classes available, IOC will not create object for all the 1000 classes by default. For IOC, you need to tell which classes it has to manage. Okay, then what I will do? I want IOC to manage my car also. Again, bean ID is equal to any ID you can give. Class is equal to in.id.car. Now, engine I represented as one bean, car I represented as another bean. So there are two beans I configured in the XML. Now let me go to the test class and let me start the application, run as Java application. Now you can see car object is also created, engine object also. Car object created, engine object also created. Can I say IOC creating object for our classes now? So now tell me, do I need to create the object for the class to call the method? I no need to create the object to call the method. Do I need to create the object or I no need to create the object? Who will take care of object creation? IOC content. Able to follow me? Yes. Now look at this main method. What is the logic in the main method? Remove all this. What is the logic available in the main method, guys? Starting IOC container. Now tell me, what is IOC? What is the purpose of IOC? IOC is a principle. Come on. IOC is the principle which is responsible to manage our classes. Which is responsible to manage and collaborate our classes in the project. IOC is responsible for dependency injection. Currently, dependency injection is there or not there? No. Just it is creating the object. It is not injecting the object, right? So I'm not performing dependency injection. Just I have started my IOC container. It is creating the object. Yes.
Java, we can check like JSC and we can set any like collection. We can check what are the implemented classes. For this also it is possible.
Documentation will be available. You can check. Yes, we can check that. I will show you. Yes, right. Now, IOC is responsible to manage and collaborate dependencies of our application. Now here, for IOC container, we are giving XML file as a input. What is that XML? What is there in that XML? What is there in that XML? What beans IOC should manage? Those bean classes we are configuring the XML file. Suppose if I don't configure, IOC will not identify which classes it has to have. Okay. How many ways we can start the IOC? Two ways. Currently, two ways. So, if we go for Spring Boot, more ways will be available. Currently, two ways. What are the two ways? One is by using Bean Factory. Another one is by using application context. Currently, I am going for application context. Application context is a class or interface. Can we create object for a interface? No. Then what we need to do? Create object for the implementation class. What is the implementation class for the application context? Class path XML application context. When you create the object for this class, it will start the IOC container. It will take the XML as the input. It will read the XML. What are the beans available? Create the object for those bean classes. Is this clear? Any confusion? Now, who is creating the object? IOC container creating the object. Now, I want the object to call the method. IOC created the object. We need the object to call the method, right? So earlier what we do? We will create the object. We will use the object. Now I don't want to create the object. IOC will create it. But I want to use the object. I want to use the object. So we need to take the object from the IOC. We started our IOC container. It created the object. We have seen practically constructor also executed. That means object is created. Now I want the object from the IOC. So what we are doing here, we are giving class as the input. We are giving configuration as the input. Based on this configuration and the class, IOC creating a Spring Bean. Now tell me, what is the meaning of Spring Bean? What is the meaning of Spring Bean? The Java class which is managed by IOC container. The Java class which is managed by IOC container is called as a Spring Bean. Now I want the Spring Bean. Who will give the Spring Bean now? Who is creating the Spring Bean? If you want your class object which is created by IOC container, we will use context dot get bean. Context dot get bean. So I am requesting IOC. Hey IOC, you created my object. You give my object. Okay. Context dot get bean of engine dot class. For engine class, you created the object now. You give me that object. Okay. So I am going to call get bean method. So with the get bean method, it will give me the object. For this object, you can check the hash code will be available. Engine dot hash code. If the object is created, then only hash code will be available. Now, let me run this program. Run as Java application. Now, can you see hash code is created? So that means object is created or not? Who created the object? How I am getting the object from the IOC? By using context dot get bean. By using context dot get bean. Once I got the object now, can I call the method engine.start? Can I call engine.start method? Yes or no? Yes. Let me run the program. Run as Java application. Engine start. Am I extending the properties? Am I creating the object? Without extending the properties, without creating the object, I am able to call the method. So now this is called IOC container. IOC is a principal which is responsible to manage the classes in the project. Okay, that's it. Currently, dependency injection is there or dependency injection is not there? Not. That we will see tomorrow. So dependency injection we will see tomorrow. Today what you need to do? You need to develop the application like this. Today, I want you to complete this application development. Whatever I have developed in the class, I want you to develop the same thing before coming to tomorrow's session. Okay. So you need to, this is first example. Some confusion will be there. Dependency injection also we can do. Just 2 lines of configuration if I do, dependency injection will be completed, but it will be confusing for you. So first you create a Maven project. Then you configure the dependency. What dependency you need to configure? I'm giving this in the notes also. Then you need to create a Java classes. Engine class you can create. So then create the configuration file. What is the configuration file I am writing? That configuration file also I'm giving for you. This is my bean configuration file. This is my bean configuration file that I am giving. Okay. Then create the test class. Once the bean configuration file is ready, engine class, car class I have configured. Then you run this application. So here we start the IOC container. So with this, when you start the IOC container, objects will be created. Then you can get the object from the IOC. Then you can call them in. So with this, we are able to develop our first application by using IOC container. Very first application by using IOC container. Now, any questions? Anybody not able to understand? Any questions? Anybody? No, it's not physical. It's like a memory. It's like a memory. How you are creating array list object? In the same way, IOC container object we are creating. It's a memory. That will load our XML file. It will read the XML. What are the beans are available in the XML? It will create the object for those bean classes. When you want, you can get the bean by using get bean memory. Right. For interface, constructor will not be available. If you want to create the, what is the meaning of object creation? Calling the constructor. For interface, constructor will not be available. That's why you cannot create the object.
Sir, what is the difference between the POM and page object model will be there in testing? Like we will write all the methods in the page object model and we'll call that in one test class file.
No, that testing is different. Pom.xml is a Maven configuration file where we will configure the dependencies. What are the frameworks you want to download, right? So the dependencies, so we can't compare them. That is completely different.
But again, you copy that XML file, right? That won't work, right?
What XML?
Like you copy that from Google, right? But that XML will type only, it will work, right?
No,
it will active, right?
No.
Typing.
If you add this one, it will give you. Suppose, so this is syntax I copy. This syntax, this is structure I copy. You can't remember all these things, no?
Yeah, but
that's why I copy. Now, when you are typing control space, it will give you. Like this, it will give you. So you can configure the bean. So inside the bean, it will give you whatever you want to write. ID and class like this. Auto suggestion, it will give you.
Yeah, okay, but I'm asking like it will in advanced Java we'll copy that file. It won't work. In the project.
No, it will work. Right? It will not. It will work.
Even loosely coupled means even if we remove one class, the another class will work, right? By using.
Yeah, this is not the conclusion. So there is a concept called strategy design pattern. We need to develop the classes by using interfaces. So it will take 1 week of time to get the complete clarity on the loosely coupled. So I can't say this is loosely coupled application. This is just one first application. By using this ID, you can get the object. Currently here, I'm getting the object by using inject.class, right? Instead of that, you can get the object by using ID also. Like this also you can. You can get the bean by using bean ID or by using the class name also. Anything you can. When you are configuring the ID should be unique for every bean.
Yes, sir.
Bean ID should be unique.
Further in future,
No. Got the clarity? Now, all of you open your laptop, complete the project now. Yeah, good. Online people, any questions, anybody? I will upload these notes in the website. So please go
Sir,
complete.
We can have multiple form.
No, sir. One project will have only one pom.xml.
Okay, there is a concept of like parent form and child form.
We are going to discuss in the Maven concept. When I go for Maven, I will tell you what is the parent form, what is child.
Hello, sir.
Good
Yes,
morning. Sir, I have one query, right? So if we want to download any particular after adding particular prompt, it will download, or we need to run the Maven. So which
In the
Java?
in the IDE, it will download automatically. Sir, you don't need to do the Maven build. When you add the dependency and save the pom.xml, Maven will download automatically. You don't need to do anything.
Okay.
If you are using pom.xml outside of the IDE, then you need to do the Maven build, then only it will download.
Okay, got it.
Sir, when we loading XML from XML for bean classes, so can we do multiple like here we can load multiple XML file?
Yes, sir. You can configure multiple XMLs also. Currently, the XML concept is completely outdated. There is no use of it.
Okay.
But it's possible. Technically, instead of one XML, you can load multiple XML files.
Okay. And this application context having only two implemented classes, right? This interface is having
No, sir. Not two. When you go for Spring Boot, multiple implementations will be available. I'm using plain Spring now. In this, only two available.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Hello, Ashok. I'm not finding the resources folder in my Eclipse.
If you are not finding the resources folder, then you just do the Maven update of your project. Then it will create the resources folder.
Okay.
Right click on the project and do the Maven update. Or change the JRE version of your project. Then it will download that. Then it will keep the resource folder. If you are not able to see, you can create the resources folder manually.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
So what
Sir, I'm facing one issue in STS. So is there a way that can be resolved by connecting with me?
Yes, sir, we can connect. Sir, you send a message to me in the group. I will connect with you after some.
In the group, sir, I have sent a request. Please add me in the group.
Yes, sir. If your enrollment is completed, admin team will add you directly.
Yeah, sir. I have visited last month and have paid the fee.
Yeah, send a mail to admin team. They will add you in the
admin team. May I have the email ID?
I'm sending the number.
Or shall I speak with?
I'm giving the mail ID in the chat box.
Oh, okay, sir. All right. I'll do it right away.
Yeah.
Sure. Thank you.
Hello, Ashok.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah, I have only one doubt. Like we are using Maven to build our application.
Yes.
Also, I heard that Jenkins also using to build our application.
Jenkins is a deployment software, sir. In the future classes, we will see what is Jenkins.
Yeah, there is no comparison between these two.
No,
I mean,
comparison. There is no comparison. Jenkins will use a Maven. Jenkins is for CI/CD purpose. Jenkins will use Maven only to build the project.
Yeah, I heard that it is a build tool, so that's why.
So if you want to know about Jenkins, there is a video in our YouTube. I will share the video link.
Yeah.
Go through that. You will get clarity.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
So one more thing I have. So what is when we need to do the Maven update and when we need to do the Maven build?
Sir, Maven update means whenever you add a new dependency, if you update the Maven project, it will download the latest Java. Maven build means when you want to compile the project, you will do the Maven build. Okay.
Are we covering, sir? We will be covering Gradle also.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes, sir. I have in my recent project, I have worked on Gradle, but I
will share one video on the my YouTube channel. Gradle video is also there. I will share the link in the group. If you are urgency, you can go through that. I will also cover in the class.
All right, sir.
Sir, is this course how many months it will take, sir?
3 months.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, Ashok. I have updated the project, but I didn't find the resources folder yet.
Yeah, you can create it. No problem.
How to create it manually?
Right click and create a folder. Give the name as resources.
Yeah, okay.
Hello, sir. Hello.
Yes, sir.
We are using this application context, we are saying like class path application XML context, right? So that will initialize or load all the classes at a time when we are starting a project, or
whatever the files you added in the form.xml, all the classes will be loaded at 8 times. Whatever the classes you configure in the form.xml, all the classes will be loaded at 8 times.
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, already I'm working, sir.
Okay.
So is this enough to manage that work? 3 years of work, or 3 years or 4 years of experience with this course? Can I handle my projects?
Yeah, I suggest you to join both courses, this course as well as the Java project also to
Yes,
manage.
sir. That project is including full stack I'm paid, sir. Why? Because
then you will get both courses. If you join both courses, that will be advantage.
Okay, that will be helpful to work myself, no, sir.
Yes.
Sure. Thank you, Ashok, sir.
Hello, sir. This is continuation to my previous.
Hello, sir.
I have around 13 years of experience currently working with service.
Can you give me a time? Like I haven't finished it.
But I don't have the confidence hands-on. So for that, I have joined Imtiaz sir evening batch also, core Java.
Okay.
Hopefully, I'll get
Yeah,
a
you will
good
get
hands-on.
that. Yes, sir. You will get that. You will get. No problem.
I'm not able to justify my experience, sir.
Sure, sir. You will get the class.
Am I